Yeah, it's gonna be really satisfying to get this done. It's been a hot minute since we started this, and also it's like the first, I would say, serious piece of art that I've made while I was streaming. Because when you're drawing and streaming, it's kind of a different beast. You're like concentrating on uh, your art, but you're also trying to like talk and read messages and like make sure you don't miss chats and things like that. So yeah, so I'm pretty proud of this piece because anybody else's Wacom tablets just act up super randomly. I know mine does. And I just reset it right now. It's working totally fine again. A lot of painting metal and metallic things, and I've said this before, it's the push and the pull. Just making something too bright or too red or too blue, and then just having the wherewithal and the patience to say, okay, it's just a little too whatever. And then just to go back in, take your time, hang out, and say, aha, this looks better. It is finally done snowing where I live. This may be false spring or fool's spring, but I don't care, I'll take it. Yep, working for me. I'm doing it, and nobody can stop me. Rocking the carrot ginger turmeric today. If my memory serves, Old House Farms is like they're the veggie juice that it doesn't taste super sweet. Woo! That is so strong. Let me look at these ingredients. Carrot juice, lemon juice, ginger juice, turmeric juice, natural flavor, black pepper. I can catch a little bit of that black pepper on the end. Just pushing and pulling these edges again. Want it to be outlined, and I kind of don't want it to be outlined. So it just means painting back and forth, seeing how it looks. And something I'm always thinking about with getting things to look really shiny, really highlighted, is just to make things darker. Because the darker you can draw and sell a thing believably, the easier it will be to make those lights look super bright. It's kind of reshaping the top of this sword because I'm not happy with it. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I can't remember like the last time I hit something with my car. I feel like there probably was a time when I was maybe like parallel parking and hit like a sign or like a tree or something. Because parallel parking over by where my school was, it was like some days you would look for 20 minutes and there'd be nowhere to park. So if you saw a really sketchy spot, you just had to go for it. When I first started painting back in the day, I would be like years ago, I mean, digital painting. I used to be never sure how to like color pick. Um, and it took me years of like watching YouTube videos and practicing and taking classes to figure out how to feel a little more confident in color picking. And it's always this tug of war that's happening because you're like trying to figure out basically like 4 things at all time. You're trying to figure out the value, how light or dark it is. You're trying to figure out the saturation, how much color is in the color that you're painting. You're trying to figure out the hue, making sure you're actually picking the right like blue or green. And then the 4th thing would be like color temperature. And then a 5th thing is when you start painting materials, thinking about how the colors react on materials. And I feel like it's something I'm going to be kind of learning my entire life. And that's fine. But man, it can be daunting sometimes. You're like, can I just be really good at color like right now? I feel very, very honored. And then before we had pizza, we were tabling at, I don't even remember what it was, some sort of career day thing. And that time for college, and that was interesting because they totally almost didn't table me that time. They're like, oh, we didn't get you on the schedule. We didn't blah, 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 blah. And I was like, the fuck you did. Not much shinier. Oh, I'm so privileged. Oh my gosh. I'm checking my privilege right now. Yeah, they were trying to tell me like, no, you don't have a table. I was like, yes, I do. And I literally just like told them, there's a table over there. Do you mind if I just grab it and like smush it into place? And they were like, fine. That was how I got a table that day. And you know what? Looking back, I'm so fucking glad I did that because that's where I met my now current employer, where I've been working for 3 years. So yeah, shout out to whoever was in charge of scheduling. I think from my personal experience, the most annoying fan base for a cartoon is Steven Universe. Every person that really, really, really is into that show, they are so elitist about it. I would put them in with Neutral Milk Hotel fans. And I'm a Neutral Milk Hotel fan, so I'm poking fun at myself a little bit too. And low-key true, Morbid Ordeal, absolutely. I despise that show and everyone who likes it. H North High Key true. Listen, if we got the 4 of us here, I mean, is there any other fan bases we want to tear down? Oh, I have a great one. The Bachelor. People are like, oh, I watch it ironically. Oh, I know it's like just acting. I know it's da 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 da. No, that show is so fucked up. Like, you're like setting it up to be married off of a show. And I asked a couple of my friends who are really into this show, and they were saying that like the first like season or 2, people that got married stayed married, and every season past that, they've all either like really not gotten married or gotten divorced. And Lynn, I think Steven Universe has an influential art style, and the concept is good, but any show with a large teenage fan base will be annoying by default. Yeah, so maybe some of the annoyingness we're picking up on is the younger fan base. Morbid Ordeal K-pop fan bases are terrifying in their fervor. They're mostly insane. Yeah, I would say they're like the most dedicated stans. I feel like I died a little bit saying that word, but yeah, like they're really intense, and there's so many K-pop bands, I feel like South Korea is like a decade ahead of us in terms of like pop music lighting and stage show and stage presence and stuff. They spend so much time making their shows these like these epic displays. And then here we're like, we have a Prince hologram, and then people are like, Prince didn't want to be a hologram. It's like, fuck. And then my personal annoying fan base is any gamer bro who only plays Call of Duty like games. Sore spot for me as a girl gamer. H North says for real. I remember I would go back and forth with my friend Corey on JRPGs. He like hates them. He hates them so much. He's like, how can you just fucking sit there and just tap a button? And I'm like, listen, it's super fun. It's relaxing. It's cozy. It's like great after a crazy day of work. You go on this big adventure, and the dialogue is cheesy and maybe the graphics are a little outdated, but that's kind of part of the charm. And he was like, no, I'm playing top of the line, the front end leading age graphics. Gotta check my heart rate. It's at 85. I was slightly panicked. I'm gonna say that my high heart rate is just because of the carrot ginger turmeric. The stuff's so intense, it feels like you're just getting punched in the face. This DMCA free chill hop playlist just never misses. Smooth this out. It's looking like more like it's a see-through than that it is like a metal ball. So I'm gonna go with a multiply layer over it and see if I can't tame this son of a bitch. In other news, WWE Network, which I love to watch wrestling on, they're moving all their stuff over to Peacock. So I guess I gotta get Peacock now. But I'll have The Office back. So this is kind of good both ways. Outlining stuff. Outlining stuff. It is my dream. Outlining stuff. Outlining stuff. Gonna use the airbrush because I can't get this thing turn out the way I want it. So we're gonna keep working it. This works if you're drawing bears or playing Skyrim. You just gotta keep painting until it don't make you mad. Him and I are working on a fun mobile game, and the brainstorming for it has been pretty cool. We want to make it like you swipe and you can like hire and fire wrestlers, and it's just like I don't know what it would be a cross of. I haven't done anything yet, lol. Oh, hey there, viewer number 4. What's up? This weekend has been studying Spanish, working out, meditating. Dang. That's a triple threat right there. Yeah, Morbid Ordeal and we worked out Saturday morning and doing overhead presses. I'm like, this motion, I can't even tell you how difficult this is. Woo, I'm feeling it. But the wrestling game that we're working on, I'm super excited about. The main function in it is like this other game called Reigns, where you swipe like it's almost like Tinder. In Reigns, you're a king or a queen, and then you're swiping and developing your kingdom. And in ours, you're like a wrestling manager and you're going to collect wrestlers and then you put them into shows, and the goal is to like make these amazing shows. And then when you get those, you unlock more storylines and you unlock more characters. And so it's kind of this weird cross between like Tinder and Pokemon, but the Pokemon are wrestlers. So it's gonna be pretty fucking wild. And I'll be drawing characters for it. Feels really exciting to be finishing up a painting that I started like weeks ago. And I feel like the next projects will go, or the next swords that I draw will go so much faster because I kind of have I took the time in this one to really make a style. It's like half the battle. Just being like, what is this? How do I paint this? Morbid Ordeal. I want to see some Renfest nerd forge a sword based on this painting. Oh, it'd be so sick. Be like, what's that show? Forged in Fire. Today, you'll be making the swords of Twitch streamer Compass Cults. You will have 3 hours in the forge to make this Peregrine Falcon blade. And then they cut to like Tommy, and he's like, oh, I don't know. I was stressing out about these feathers. I don't think this guy knew how swords are really designed. You know, nobody would do that. Yeah, something you said really helped me to get started. Is you were like, when I was talking for a long time about like, well, I want to stream, but I don't know, it's scary, this and that. And you're like, well, if you draw in a room full of people, is it scary? And I was like, no, it's not. And that totally helped jumpstart my brain to be like, why is streaming so scary? It doesn't have to be. You know, just like use the part of your brain that's like you're hanging out with your friends. And that is literally how I approach streaming now. It's just being like, hang with your friends. It's all fun. It's all good. And now I look forward to it. I don't even feel nervous about it at all anymore. Glad I could help, man. I'm sure it's nerve-wracking at first. So you got it down. Yeah, it's seriously like, if I can turn this into a job, I'll be so happy. Because I literally will do this for free. Like, what other medium do you get to create and learn from and be influenced by? Like, people who are watching you as you make it. Like, I think that's so cool. So, yep. I can't believe I had such a mental block about it before. Because now I'm like, oh, it's Sunday, I get to stream. Ordeal. There's a period of 2 days once where I couldn't do anything. Could barely stand or sit up. Even laying down hurt. Damn, 4 days later, it was mostly better. And I felt fine immediately after the gym. It was like an hour or so later, my back decided to die. It'll be tomorrow better, I hope. Yeah. Enlin, if you can walk now, that's probably about the worst that it'll be, is how it feels right now. I also, along with Morbid Ordeal, have definitely had that happen where I deadlifted and I was going too quickly and I didn't warm up and I didn't stretch and I didn't do anything, which sometimes, like 80 times out of 100, it'll be fine. And just the one time I didn't even do near my top weight. It was a light day and I totally just tweaked my back, and I took a shower, went in the hot tub even, drove home, And then I sat down to eat dinner, and I had to use the bathroom. And this is like an hour or two later. And like, I had to go to the bathroom, and I fucking couldn't stand up. I was freaking out. Couldn't stand up, and my roommate wasn't home, and I was like, I have to go to the bathroom, and I can't freaking stand up right now. So I legit, like, I crawled to the bathroom because I'm like, I'm gonna freaking pee myself if I don't get up. And that experience in those few days were so crappy. That's why I take stretching so seriously now. That really sucks. Yeah, I take warm-up sets and stretching and all of that like so seriously, because I remember crawling to the bathroom and how embarrassing that felt. And, you know, just because of I was in a rush, basically, was my reason. But you can hurt it plenty of other ways by just trying to jump up your weights too quickly, or yeah, it can be a lot of different things. So I would say, yeah, if you can walk and you can sit and it hurts, I think the worst part is that it's gonna really hurt for a little bit. But I'm glad that you can move around. Thought I would LOL, that's me. I thought I would challenge myself today. Yeah, well, it's really good that you're challenging yourself. Yeah, sorry that happened. That's just a crappy thing. Deadlifts are so tricky. I feel like especially deadlifts. I don't know what it is about them. And I liked using this for reference because it has, let me grab an obvious color. Here you have like, it's kind of pearlescent glass, really glossy. Here you have like crystal, transparent and more opaque. You have stone. You have it's like gold, but it's more. It's not as like shiny. It's more. I don't even know what the word is. Burnished. And then you have the metal. So I was like, okay, this is really a good reference for me to start picking up on some of these concepts. And the bird head took me forever. The other pieces I think went a little quicker. I'm more familiar with painting more flat things, but the more glossy stuff, I'm like, how do you paint that? I don't even know. Did I do a color wheel before thinking about the art, or did it develop over time? For this piece, I did two things. One was, it's on one of my older layers. Here it is. So, I'll zoom in. This layer, I picked these colors from this piece of art that I found on Pinterest, and it had kind of the mood that I liked. So I had some base colors here, and then on top of that, I'm gonna take out some of my layers that I've painted. I'm gonna go back in time. Okay, so here, these base colors on my base drawing are from this swatch set. You can see like some of the red goes into some of this kind of peach, pinkish, tannish here. I did add a yellow, but basically all the colors you're seeing here are really color dropped from this piece of art in the top right here. And then I started adding in values in this layer, in my first painting layer, and I'm just looking at giving it a little bit more depth. That came later. Then the second part was, so a color dropped for color was the first part to plan. And then I want to make it my own rather than just me copying colors. So I went in and I added a gradient map, which is this one. And it starts at a really deep violet and goes up to a blue up top. And this layer is a color layer. So I'm going to turn it to normal so you can see. You can see it's like pretty extreme at 100. It's almost comical. So I turned it down to 81. And then it was a, color layer. And then what was the next steps? Oh, then I think I did the blade. And then I start painting directly on top of it. And you can see I'm getting more extreme with the colors. Paint the blade more. Paint the bird even more. So you can see there's a couple big jumps on that Peregrine Falcon head. Even more. And then today's progress is right here. Here, I'll zoom in. Today, yesterday. Today, yesterday. What is the temperature there? That's a great question. You want it in Fahrenheit or Celsius? And Lynn has the conversion. I was Googling it because I can't do it in my head. and Vivaret, where we live. Yeah, exactly what Anlin's saying. For us, Vivaret, I promise this is warm. This is very warm. Like I went out for a walk today and I was so happy. Because before it was oh my gosh. That's so much warmer. Oh, this sounds amazing. Okay, so now that I have this adjustment layer and I've painted it and it's looking really, really dark, what I'm gonna do is slowly back this off until it looks nice. Okay, select that, Command Shift I to inverse the selection, then Wand Shift to add these. Okay, we'll just do that. And now when we look at it, oh, it's got some life to it. Without and with, it's really subtle, but I notice it makes me happy.